YouTube Live, coming to you from the Equal Universe. Hello, everyone. My name is Regi. My last name is Wilson. And I just like to take a few minutes just to talk to you today. We are currently in the middle of a global pandemic, but we're also in the middle of a social pandemic. I see this social pandemic as being, and specifically the most disturbing parts of it, as being symptomatic, as it were. I see them as being symptoms of a larger narrative. And I see that narrative as being a you are not valuable because narrative. You're not valuable because you're Black. You're not valuable because you're a woman. You're not valuable because you're Asian Pacific Islander, because you're LGBTQ plus, because you weren't born into a family with wealth, because you're not navigating and moving in a higher social circle or a higher income level, or because you haven't acquired a certain amount of material wealth or gain. This you are not valuable narrative has been seeping its way throughout the bloodstream of our cultures for my entire life, and I believe it goes without saying for as long as the United States of America have been the United States of America, and even going back further than that. I see the disparities that exist, racism, abuse of ourselves, abuse of each other, inequalities, inequities, and all of the like. I see them as being a part of this narrative. And I believe that the only way to change the decay that we are witnessing every day now in our society is to change the paradigm of how we assign value. And that's why I created the Equal Universe. As human beings, and you can ask yourself this question, you don't have to answer it for me, but answer it for yourself. But as human beings, what we value, we tend to protect, and we tend to want to build up. I find that as human beings, what we don't value, we leave as vulnerable, and we either destroy it ourselves or we allow it to be destroyed. There's something interesting about that. So I see the symptoms that we see played out in our society as a direct result of the value narrative, of lacking a recognition of our inherent value, and also not assigning our inherent value to ourselves. Because again, as human beings, what we consume is what we project. There's a saying, a famous saying, you are what you eat. If you hear a song enough times, you know the words, and you can sing the words. If you watch a movie enough times, you can recite your favorite lines almost at will. again, what goes into us is what comes out of us. I oftentimes like to say that it is impossible to pour water from a cup that has no water in it. So if we have been living under the banner of a "you're not valuable because" narrative, then by the time I get to you and engage with you, after hearing and believing and even perpetuating that same story to myself, then I have no value to pour out into my interaction with you. I can only offer you a value absent engagement. The equal universe and the equal narrative, equal a global human initiative, is all about changing the value paradigm. It is about, in essence, introducing you to you. It is about reconnecting you to your inherent value. And through that understanding, moving you to a place to where you begin to assign that value to yourself. And again, as consumers, what we consume is what we project. We are what we eat. What we take in is what we pour out. So that once you are filled with value yourself, when you get to those in society, whether it be family or coworkers or friends that you engage with, then naturally, inevitably, what you pour out into those encounters is value. That is what I see as the solution. Pouring more value into humanity will diminish the abuses of self that play out in substance use disorders, drug addiction, alcoholism, self-mutilation, sex addiction, and so many other self-deprived or self-destructive behaviors. But not only behaviors that are self-destructive, but the behaviors that we turn outward and that we see manifested in, abuses of power by the police. We've had, I think, close to upwards of 4,000 encounters on airplanes and in our skyways of people fighting. Again, because these are merely demonstrations of the fact that our interactions are value deficient or value absent. Again, what we don't value, we destroy. What we don't value, we abuse. What we don't value, we demean. So if I pour value into that scenario, then it changes the outcome. So please join us in the Equal Universe, where you can not only find value, but you can find support. You can find self-awareness. You can find self-empowerment. You can find self-celebration. And you can also be celebrated by others. I've learned something very interesting. The body is the template for success. What is the body? It's a bunch of individuals, all different sizes, shapes, different names. But they do something interesting. They cooperate with each other to ensure their own well-being. And in ensuring their own well-being, they ensure the survival of the body as a whole. Okay, let's move from the human body. What is a basketball team? A bunch of individuals, all different positions, different roles, different functions, but playing in sync, cooperating in unison for one purpose. And they win championships. Okay, let's move from sports. What is a company? Are you seeing the similarities? What is nature? The trees, the birds, the ecosystem of nature. It's all different parts and pieces cooperating together to foster life, to foster survival. My point is this: together is the only path forward. Together is the only path to survival. I cannot say to you, you know what, I have stomach cancer, but if my stomach doesn't make it, I'll be fine. The system doesn't work that way. If my stomach goes down, everything goes down. If my heart doesn't survive, everything goes down. So it is incumbent upon all of my parts to support each other, to ensure their well-being, to ensure the survival of the whole. It is incumbent upon each and every one of us to connect, to support, to uplift, to build each other. Because without that, the decay happens to all of us. We all lose. Either we win together or we don't win at all. Together is the template. Again, look at the human body. It has a great revelation in it. It is the template. It is the example of how to achieve success. It is the example of how to survive. So as a humanity, as a human, as a body of humanity, please let's look at nature's perfect system. Let's look at nature's perfect template, and let's operate accordingly. So again, join us in the Equal Universe. I look forward to seeing you, and there will be more content to come. Let's build better together. Thank you.